Mayor of Cairns, Bob Manning, councillors, Rotary District Governor Ian, Assistant Governor Lane, past District Governors. I think we've got 4 past District Governors here today, so thank you very much, gentlemen, for your support. It's always very, very welcome. Rotarians, friends, and of course the students. On behalf of the District Exchange Committee Chairman Sandy, who couldn't be with us today, let me formally thank the Mayor and the councillors and the management of the council for this official acknowledgement today for the students and for your ongoing support. A little bit of history about the program to start with. The Rotary Exchange program is the largest long-term exchange program in Australia, and we believe it's the best. We've learnt a lot over the years about how to run exchanges. I believe it's the one that offers the best in terms of support networks and so forth for the students, and quite often it's also the cheapest. So we're quite experienced in what we do. The program itself started some 80 years ago, and the first exchange initially was an exchange back in about the 1930s between the USA and Denmark. It was the very first exchange. Australia got involved in the program in 1958, where one of the Australian Southern clubs took in a student from the USA, and that was reciprocated the following year, where the USA took 2 of our students in 1959 back to the US. Cairns got first involved in the program in 1968, and our first student to leave from Cairns went to Japan on the very first exchange. So to date we've now sponsored, I think, well over 900 students, both in and out in the program, just from this very area. Our chairman Sandy, who I said is not here today unfortunately, he's a past exchange student in 1976, and he went to a district in the US. The objectives of the Rotary Exchange program are based on the long-standing principle of promoting international goodwill and understanding. In particular, it seeks to promote tolerance to the youth of the world. And what better way in today's turbulent society do you think we could provide an opportunity for creating international goodwill than through the provision of an educational and cultural experience to our youth? We'll soon hear from some of these young people and these ambassadors speaking about their expectations, their achievements, their personal growth, their challenges, their maturity, and much more. And to think these are our local youth, either returning as young adults from their amazing year abroad, representing our city, or about to embark on a journey into the unknown, all the while acting as ambassadors for our country, our district, and our city. We also welcome our new friends visiting us from afar. And if we're prepared to listen to some of these young people, we too can experience a new culture in a different part of the world. Even though I've been the group representative for YP only for a couple of years, Francis and I have been involved in the program for well over 15 years in hosting many, many students through our doors. As well as that, our son did an exchange to Canada back in 2010. So I can sincerely say that it's one of the most rewarding programs and experiences that you can get involved in, and I really encourage others to get involved with the program, as it does create lifelong friendships all over the world. Just as a sideline to that, and some of the things that I think over this weekend, we've just actually had 4 exchange students stay at our place over the weekend, and following on from the example that Bob just gave about the cultural shock that some of the students can go through. There was a young lady that stayed at our place on the weekend, Bob, from Finland, and she jumped on the plane in Helsinki 6 months ago. She's currently being hosted for her year in Nullenburg. So there's another example of a true cultural shock. You can imagine what she went through originally, landing in Nullenburg, coming from Finland. I know many stories where this program has had a significant impact on people's lives. I know there's people in the audience today that are exchange students and or who have hosted students that could also tell some amazing stories and share some of their own experiences. We've seen lots of examples of life-changing circumstances that this program has provided to students over the years. There's An example is a past exchange student who went to Belgium a couple of years ago now, Christopher Graham. Christopher now lives in Germany, married to his German wife, and whilst he was an exchange in Belgium, he studied quite a bit through his high school and went to a conservatorium of music, then got a scholarship, and he now travels Europe, working for and playing in some of the conservatoriums of music as a virtuoso trumpeter. So there's an example of one of the things that the Rotary Youth Exchange Program can do. However, as Ian just touched on, our program isn't just limited to assisting those close to home. And the example that Ian's just given of the Timorese and our district extending to Timor. For those that don't know, ours is quite a large Rotary district. It runs from Airlie Beach in the south, right up to around Torres Strait, around the Darwin, East Timor, down to Mount Isa and sort of back to Airlie Beach. So that's the area that our Rotary district covers. One of the things that, and just to follow on to give you an example of some of the stuff from Timor, it's not an exchange with the Timorese as it is with everybody else, simply because it's very difficult for anyone to host in East Timor. So it's a one-way transfer through our relationships we've developed with Brazil, and the Brazilians are quite happy to take a couple of students in from Timor each year. There was a story that's just come through a couple of months ago about a student who went out, I can't remember if it was 2009 or 2010, and this Timorese student was hosted in Brazil for 12 months and got to know a lot of people, create a lot of networks, and went home. He's just been applied for and been granted a full scholarship to attend a university in Brazil to study medicine. And there's an example of something that that student would never have ever been given an opportunity like that in their own country. So that's all thanks to the program and through the networks that that student was able to create as a result of the exchange. Chairman Sandy sends his apologies today. He tells me that this is the first of these functions that he has missed for 14 years. He's currently in transit chaperoning a number of students to Brazil, and he'll be staying on in Brazil, attending meetings and seminars to help strengthen the program and to help foster further relationships between our district and various districts in Brazil. He passes on his regards to all the students, and in particular, he would like to wish all the 2013 outbound students all the best. To our current visiting inbound students, I hope you enjoy your stay in this beautiful part of the world, and we look forward to sharing all your experiences with you. Emil, Katarina and Julie, could you stand up? Ladies and gentlemen, these are your current inbound students. To our returning students, I'm sure that you've made us proud and have matured into fine young adults, having shared experiences that very few people get the opportunity to do. There to be a contraction to the participants involved in the program for a short period. This has made it more competitive for places within the program. Last year, for the first time that I can remember, I think I mentioned this, that there were no students from our district representing Townsville. I'm very proud of the fact that we had 4 from this area. So, Alex, Thomas and Maddie, you've got to spread the word that you come from the best part of the best district in the world. So I hope you did make us proud. Alex, Maddie and Thomas, would you guys like to stand up? These are our returning students that we affectionately call our rebounds. And once again, we find this area leading our district. There are 15 students from that district I explained before about to leave this year. Up until last week, there was an unfortunate set of circumstances with a young lad from Mossman who broke his leg last week and unfortunately had to pull out of the exchange. But we did have 9 of those 15 all coming from Cairns. There were 3 from Townsville. So once again, we're very proud of our local youth. So to all the outbounds, remember, you are young ambassadors representing your country, your district, and importantly, representing your family. You're probably full of anticipation and nerves of what lies ahead, but fear not. Just look at those around you and those that have gone before you. I'll get the outbound students up in just a minute. So on behalf of the Rotary Youth Exchange Committee and all the students, once again I express our thanks to Mayor Bob, and I was asked to pass on, Bob, the fact that all the guys over at the Cairns Club said anytime you want to drop in, if you want to rejoin the Cairns Club, the offer's welcome. Also to Rebecca and the team at the Cairns City Council, thanks very much, and to the Council for providing the hospitality here today. Thanks very much.